What's going on, High Ground fam? It is Zach Huffman.
Todd Hagemann.
And we're with Summit Media Solutions. We aim to bring tremendous amount of value to your earwaves and in your life. And we have a really exciting topic, I guess, that kind of hits us right in our roots of being marketing professionals. And there's a recent article that's just been floating around the space. Gartner predicts 25% dip in search volumes by 2026. And we are all about AI now, but we have built our business on digital marketing, specifically in websites and SEO. And so, when we read articles like this, it creates some panic in some, right in the beginning.
Yeah.
However, when we break it down, we read it a few times, we come back to first principles and really say, will there be a dip? Should you abandon your SEO completely and drop your SEO agency? To be determined. And that's what we aim to kind of discuss in this podcast today. And so stay tuned. Todd, when you see articles like this, you've seen all the different SEO updates. You're not, this isn't new to you, and there's, for years there's been people saying SEO's dead. What comes to your mind when you read articles like this?
That's a very irresponsible thing to say, and we need to bring context into what we're talking about, right? It's sensationalism. They're highline grabs to grab our attention, draw us in, create controversy, which means they're exaggerated. Mm-hmm. And now I am not in any way saying that the ground isn't changing. In fact, I'm fully acknowledging that AI is impacting. We're seeing the search engines offer different ways to us for us to engage in the search page. Mm-hmm. But, one of the things that really encourages, let's look at things objectively and base as much as we can on fact. We're not denying things aren't changing, but we cannot afford as businesses to exaggerate things and make knee-jerk decisions, right? They need to be responsible. So that's my first thought.
Yeah, and it's great that you're saying it is changing.
Right.
But until it happens and it really sees, the ground is shifting, as you say. Virtual agents, AI chatbots, they 100% at this point are eating into search volumes at this point in a very small scale. And as the consumer adoption happens, will search need to make a shift? Likely.
Already is.
But already is. You see Google coming in and just putting the Gemini search function right at the top and kind of giving you that AI synopsis right from the get-go. Mm-hmm. That definitely impacts click-through rates. As you get into the organic, lower and lower down the page, it was the first, when you looked at a Google page back in the day, it was organic. And then they added ads. It's like, oh, you want the top spot? Buy these ads. And then they came around, they're like local, and they said, here's a local pack, a Google Business Profile local pack. And now they said, here's this AI portion, and organic's getting pushed down the page. And so, of course, things are going to get impacted. But the real question is, should you abandon your SEO? Should you keep an eye on it and monitor, make good decisions? And what are our thoughts on it? As a solution?
Is SEO still viable, and what's really going on? What's our opinion?
I have my opinion. What's yours?
They're probably similar. I tried to, Zach, in You and I are different, and yet we work very closely and we collaborate and we agree on many things. And I very much appreciate that you and I can disagree and we find what we believe is a pretty common truth. And that's through understanding, so we can walk forward, if you will. So SEO, let's talk about money.
Got a full head of hair. Is that why we're different?
That's where I'm wearing my ball caps, and I'm going to continue to do that. Don't touch me. No. Okay, where am I going with this? We want to look at things based on as much factual information as we can, because it has to do with money, truth, hopes, the direction of our company. We've got responsibilities, and so to our clients, I've already had a couple people say, "Hey, a guy told me that SEO is dead," or somebody told me the other day, and it wasn't. It didn't list the source. And by the way, this is a conversation you and I have been having for 1.5 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably a little more qualified than some of the other folks out there to see how the needle is moving. And we meet week after week after week after week, and we're very learned and studied in this space. Okay, cool. Let's quantify what it is that we're talking about in the approach here. So let's work off factual things. Let's look at an information like this as the dip. The dip will be 25% by 2026. I see absolutely zero evidence in that. I believe in my own research and through our conversations, we've seen about a 1% digression in search since post-introduction of AI on the home page of the search engine. Primarily, we'll talk about Google, right? Everybody else seems to follow. So what's really happening? My response to you last week was, okay, we've lost our search. SEO is what we're talking about. Search, the most valuable search, is digressed or moved by 1%. That could be any number of factors, a group or one or two. By the introduction of AI, we do not know definitively that it was AI has already robbed SEO search results. We see nothing in the research that we've from Google, right, that can quantify that. I'm not denying that. I want to really make sure what's going on. We need to look at things objectively. And the other point I'd like to bring, Zach, before as a baseline into our conversation is Google's ad revenue. Two metrics. Let me give it back. Very close, give or take a point or two. 90% of search, people knowing what they want, they just don't know who. They want search results that go to Google page 1, are organic, and that is SEO. Those are synonymous terms, right?
Yep.
So 90%. So let's just say it's moved 1, even though I'm not quite sure if it's moved 1 in the last year. Let's say it's moved 1. We can measure total search by the information that Google gives us. And keep this in mind. What am I trying to say? Google's ad revenue, they give away search results so they can place ads in front of us and monetize their company, right? There's no doubt about it. That's what's in the article that's in front of me. The article's on one side, and there's a bunch of ads on the other. So we're going to keep an eye on that. So I probably made my point there, is we're seeing multiple channels and more channels. We're getting more and more choices for us to say, as a company, as a marketing company, what do we want to grab and layer our advice and our expertise on, and how do we communicate that to, we have 300 clients right now, and we've been doing this for a while. What's our truth? How do we communicate these things? What are our belief systems based on? I've just given you a couple factors right here, but I'll just roll this back to you with no particular question. Zach, what are your thoughts?
SEO and search is extremely complicated.
It is.
You are in the practice of SEO, 80% of it is very, very simple. The 20%, very complicated, and that's where we excel, is we can get businesses to understand SEO, but when you really have to be in it, look at the hundreds of different accounts that we've worked on and helped with some SEO solutions, we we may not look it, but we are both nerds when it comes into really digging deep
I hate to admit it, but yes, probably.
in the
Probably so.
in the analytics of and trying. And the really frustrating thing is Google tells you nothing about what's under the hood. You are trying to diagnose a problem, and you have no guiding principle other than he said, she said on the internet in terms of like other professionals. But Google, they process 20 trillion searches. I think that I don't remember over what time period. I think that may be a year. That could be daily. They process a lot of damn searches, right?
It's right.
And when you think about a 1% digression, that's 10 billion searches.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't that big of a digression. And so when we even think about 26 or 25% dip in search volumes, Google's still going to dominate the search space. And if you're a business, you don't want to abandon your SEO. 75% is way different than the 98% that they're capturing right now. 75%, you still want to make sure you have some sort of SEO involvement.
Yeah,
in organic, because it can really send some ripples down, and the opportunity lies in that. I hope that people abandon and quit their SEO. Go quit your SEO, because that's going to make our job a lot easier.
It'll make our clients go up, because our clients have SEO, right? They're going to.
So by all means, if you get anything, make sure you contact your SEO people and cancel it, because SEO is dead, and that's just going to help our clients that are doing SEO significantly more. Hopefully you get the satire in there.
Yeah, didn't see that twist coming, but yeah. The SEO is a core competency. It's an integral part of a marketing program online. It's not going anywhere soon. We, our eyes are on things. We want to be open-minded and objective. We don't have any hill to die on, right? We're about truth-telling and providing the best information that we can. So is it moving? Yes, likely. Do we know how much? Not measurably, not yet. We really don't. And contextually, I think of the amount of your rather large number of searches. How many of those things were for the local gas station or eatery?
Yeah.
Right. To the businesses that we're talking to, that might include the restaurants and such. But what I'm saying is, home-based services, professional services. We have to contextualize what it is that we're talking about. I don't see SEO going anywhere soon. We'll keep everybody posted and be the first to admit it if we do see it, and it's just too early to tell with the introduction of AI into the space. And by the way, something that I've held on to and spoken with a lot of our clients about. There's only one page one. Now there's a cell phone is a single column, very small screen to the largest, screens that we can imagine on a desktop. There's only so much information on page one or on a screen at a time.
Right.
And I don't see SEO as a baseline fundamental of algorithms that Google uses to determine the most valuable content.
Right.
It's going to be algorithm driven. Again, SEO is synonymous with algorithm. Here they're talking about a percentage of search. We don't know, but I can't see anything that would say that an algorithm would discount or not pay attention to the quality of content and the type of content online. And we know that's most important when representing or advising our clients is we've got to have good quality of content. So this is another subject, right, that helps us rank. So good, rich, user, solution-based, or answering problems for clients. What am I trying to say? We got to have good content, and I don't see SEO going away because I don't see algorithms changing in the way that content ranks.
When you really dial it back, is we usually talk about SEO specifically in the Google space, but SEO is everywhere. Amazon, why do you think that when you're on Amazon that this product ranks over this product and it has some sort of algorithm? Well, there's SEO in there. how do you think that the AI that's going to be that's kind of changing up the way search is going to recommend companies or recommend the best lotion for your skin type or the plumber down the street, right? It's going to take in information that exists online, and same thing that happened with Google over the period of time is as it evolved, there was a bunch of crappy content out there and they were providing less than ideal results. What do you think AI is going to do when it gets opened up and people are starting to use it and it's starting to recommend the plumber that has 2 stars down the street and is stealing money from the people and not completing the work, right? Is AI going to recommend you that? Well, how is AI going to know that? It's going to take in all of this information and it's going to recommend. The only difference is it's going to give you the recommendation immediately rather than you having to search through the different results that it provides to you. So there's SEOs all around us. Amazon, Bing.
Great point.
YouTube is the second largest search engine, and there's a whole nother string of SEO tactics to get your videos to show up for searches and different things. And so it's going to change. We're still going to be an artist. The difference is we're going to switch slightly and maybe paint with oil paints rather than chalk, right?
Yep. Let me a question. I'm curious about this, and I don't think we talked about this a lot. In fact, I don't believe we have at all. The AI. Here we go. Here's AI again. AI generated content. Buckle up, right? There's pictures, videos, written words, content, right? And a little bit of a tee up. There was a time when it was volume of content, and now we've got the quality of content would be another bullet point, things that we talk about, and then AI generated content. Okay, I just rolled you a big plate of food there, buddy. Well, yeah, just bring some good experience here.
So there is a massive influx of content getting published to websites since AI has launched. Marketers are sometimes the people that ruin it for everybody because we are always trying to push the needle, and especially when it comes to SEO, we are trying everything to get that little bit of advantage. And so
yes, we do.
Across the market, there has been a ton of content coming from AI. And like I alluded to earlier, if that content is not great, Google's going to know that. It's extremely smart. It's an algorithm of computer and AI and way above my pay grade and my understanding. But Google knows when somebody's written an AI piece of content and it is the same article as everything else.
Sure.
Right. And it offers no real meaningful value to me as a consumer. And Google deplatforms the wrong word, but like de-incentivizes and de-ranks those sites that happen. And we've seen this through the years that we've been looking at SEO. Before AI, you saw this. People providing garbage content just to get a page count up and just to get content in the search. And Google releases an update. I believe it was the Panda update where they said, it's not about quantity anymore or having the most amount of pages or content on your site. This content has to be quality.
Yep.
And that's the same thing with AI. If you're producing AI content, it's not to say that you shouldn't produce AI content. I think there's a right and a wrong way to use AI content to benefit your company. And that is by making sure that it is authentic, high quality content and not just copy and pasting because AI said it looked good.
I've got a tough question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. And this is going to be tough because it's, this can be very complicated. Define quality content. What do you mean? I know, I'm sorry. I rolled you one in with zero prep. What is quality content?
I think that, in my opinion, the easiest way Quality content is just content that provides the answer to my query.
Okay.
Right? If I type in Google search how to tie my shoes, and it starts off with something like set crisscross applesauce and make a bowl of cereal, and I'm like, my query is to tie my shoes. It's pretty messed up, not good quality content. And I know that that's a very like abstract example, but there's not a book on this quality content stuff.
Right.
There's a 300-page write-up called the Search Engine Quality Guidelines that get updated every year, and it is very dry stuff. I've tried to read it a couple times. But there are people in the back end of Google that are training these algorithms, and they are going in and they're viewing a lot of content and they're rating it on whether it's valuable or not. And then they train their algorithm to identify, hey, this was marked an unvaluable piece of content. And that could be like keyword stuffing. What is keyword stuffing? If you were landed on an article, and you probably at some point, if you're over the age of 30, have ran into these articles at some point. Best plumber, Kansas City, blah, blah, blah is the best plumber in Kansas City. If you're looking for a Kansas City plumber to plumb your Kansas City home, then make sure that you contact number one plumber, Kansas City. That is garbage content. That is not good quality content. And so, tough question. You really threw me under the bus with this. But I really don't think that anybody can give you a 1, 2, 3, 4 how to create quality content. I think the big principle when you're producing content, make sure that it's engaging, it's easy for me to read, and make sure that it is accurate and solves my problem. Authentic, high quality content that solves my problem as the consumer, and you'll be completely fine.
I had time to sit here because I did roll the
grenade in the room.
I rolled the hand grenade over to you. I had time to sit here and think about it. It is engaging quality content that solves my problem or answers my question, right? That's all I'm looking for. A video. Now, a good quality, well-illustrated, informative video, good stuff, right? I really appreciate that. If I'm searching, I'm going to a site, they're bringing me some personality, it's engaging, so it converts well, right? I find value in that. Boy, here we go. We've enlisted a LLM or NLP, I believe, highly competent AI assistant on our website, and now with the broad base of our clients. And the point would be is that quality content. It's an agent that reaches out. It engages me as a user. It's intuitive. It has intent. It can describe to me what's on my website. So it's a quality capability, if you will, that can lead me to a good user experience. And if I choose to go into the site, I'm not finding what you described in keyword stuffing, a dry, how-to manual type of website. It's one that engages my emotions, it solves my problem, or answers my question in a way that's appealing to me. And how'd I do?
Yeah, and you're 100% right. And this is where being in the space and where we offer like the most amount of ability to communicate these things to small businesses is because they're going to see the headline and they're going to say SEO's dead, so they're going to drop everything SEO.
Yeah.
It's down by 25%. It's done. However, when you have been in the space and done the research and in the historic research over the last 25, 30 years in the ecosystem, which we have, is AI may disrupt search, but when AI does not provide you high quality answers to your queries, it becomes less effective. Something that people oftentimes, and I always say this, and I'm not a Google fanboy by any means, but Google's sole purpose in creating the ecosystem, forget all the stuff that you hear online about Google. They exist to unify, or I don't remember how they say it, but connect the world's information to the people. And if Google was providing you not good results to answer your query, then you would stop using Google. You would go to Bing if they provided you better results for your queries. And so the only way that AI disrupts search is when AI is good enough to solve the queries, solve your question exactly how you wanted it, and provide you good information. Until that happens 100% of the time, or 90%, because Google's not always 100%, but until that consistently happens and you build this trust, the AI with the AI as a consumer,
right?
What the heck are we talking about? And another thing that I'll kind of nerd out on, because this is stuff that really gets me jazzed up.
It's a nerd forum.
Is
You'd be the chief nerd.
With the content, is if you're going to ChatGPT and ChatGPT starts to answer your questions, and it does it at a high accuracy rate. And I then also go into ChatGPT and I ask ChatGPT to write me an article about X. You go where I'm going here is, if from the beginning the AI solved your problem and I write an article about that same problem and post that article to my website, and now instead of going to AI, it comes with this like ball in my head, and I might not be doing a great job articulating it, solving the consumer's problems. And if AI can do that, Google does not give two craps whether your article is written by AI or written by a human, because their sole purpose, again, is to provide answers to the world's questions.
Yeah, it's so hard to project what page one is going to look like and how SEO is going to be disrupted. It is not going away. So we've determined that's a big takeaway. It's not
going away.
I think it's going to be redefined until we can see what page one looks like, and I'm going to circle back on a big thing. At least it's a big thing to me. Google doesn't exist to provide us information. It exists so it can get us to click on the ads. When Google stops monetizing page one, and there is only one, Google shareholders are not going to like it. Right. So we've got an AI assistant.
And that's where we're different, right? And that's like our different of understanding is like, I take it all the way back to first principles. And you're right. Today, Google exists to make sure that it monetizes the platform and that it gets the ad revenue, and it generates way more revenue from their ads than they do any of their other products. And so, but Google's only able to do that by dialing it all the way back to the very beginning before ads ever happened in their sole purpose. And so I agree with what you're saying to an extent, but I don't believe that Google's in the position that they are today if they didn't start with a really unique mission of connecting people. And I don't think that they've gotten too far away from that.
I agree with that. I think it's convoluted. You know, what's the point that maybe we can agree on this is that a highly competent alternative to search that we're used to has been introduced to page one, and there's only one page one, right? So how are we going to be engaging with that page one? Google gave away, you know, its competency and its capabilities long time ago. Right, and the reason they grew to approximately 90% plus of search engines out there, they did it because they provided information or a way to us to connect, right, with information we didn't have that they did. They were an intermediary, and they pleased us.
Right.
And that experience was reinforced, and we kept going back, and those ads kept getting clicked on, and they kept monetizing. And here's what we're talking about then, right? So I'm curious to see how AI will displace the amount of search. Again, I don't see SEO going anywhere. I do think it will decrease over time. I don't think it will be near 25%, and certainly not in 1 year. In fact, I'd bet my house on that. Like, literally, I would bet my house on that right now, and my truck and my Bronco. I don't see that happening whatsoever. So I think this is exaggerating. We're just going to have to watch and see.
Yeah, so you guys heard it here first. Todd will be living in a box down by the river.
I will not be.
If Google loses 25% search volume. That's what I heard, and I'm pretty sure we shook hands on it, that all that stuff was getting moved to me, if that was the case.
I need somebody who's listening to this, or you brave up and say, I'm going to bet my house on it that it will be 25%, because then I'm going to have a rental home and I'm going to expand my property holdings that way. Great play.
But yeah,
So,
search is not going anywhere.
Not living
It's
in a
just going to
box.
change. Just wait until we got into this ads equation. I did want to just say something. Wait until ChatGPT has ads in their AI prompts, because that will come. I will bet my house on that. It seems like everything eventually will get ads at some point, but
Yes.
search isn't going anywhere. How do you think you're going to be able to get your business into AI recommending it? And I think that's the big thing that I wanted to leave this conversation on.
Yeah.
Is AI is not going to recommend you for no reason. There's going to have to be signals, SEO signals, for AI to recommend you.
Right, and I'll throw this out as well, because we are at a very interesting time where we are all now familiar with the term AI, but we have very limited understanding of how that's impacting our world. That's what our conversation was about today, right? As advisors, as consultants, we're very morally and ethically and values driven. We're also a very competent and very deliberate company. Of our 4 values: advocacy, empathy, enriching, and empowering. These 4 values define our purpose and our commitment to our clients. Never to self-promote. Okay, why are we doing this podcast? We want to share information and perspective that we've gained. This is a very demanding, it's an intimidating, it's a difficult position to be in. If we didn't evolve through the process, we wouldn't be. If we didn't have the ability, out of the necessity to change our business model, to sit here and provide information to people, I cannot, and what am I saying? I can't imagine being one of our clients and trying to figure out what it is that we know, to be able to hold a conversation like this and bring our very best. I can't imagine. So advocacy is the first of our 4 core principles, and we're here to help people.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully we'll get comfortable saying, look, we're not looking for anything. What we're looking to do is help small business and medium-sized businesses. And they may have somebody on staff. They may have nobody. They may be a 4 or 5 person company. They may be 50. The problems and the demands are still there.
Yep.
Right? And how do
Things like this is going to make it more demanding, right? Now you have to get AI and
absolutely.
All of these other things that are coming. It's just becoming increasingly more demanding. And we don't know everything.
No.
But we know 99% more than the rest of everybody, because we're doing this every day, and we've helped businesses scale in very big ways and meaningful ways that have impacted their families and the families of the employees that they employ. Right? This is real stuff that they are not in tune with, because they're so focused on running their business. And at the very least, we can be a advocate on their behalf to just drop these little nuggets, reassure them, and put our hand out to help them reach the top of that mountain, so that they can achieve life's greatness and whatever that means for them.
Yeah, very well said. Now we're talking, there's no script for what it is. How do we help? How do we better serve people?
We're doing it.
We're doing it right now, and we're here and available to people. If they want to reach out, great. Just have conversations to straighten out a crooked road. We're here to help.
Yeah. Give us a shout. If there's other topics that you don't want to reach out and talk to us, drop a comment and just let us know what you would be more curious about hearing, the challenges that you're facing. We are more than a marketing company. We're having real conversations with businesses about scaling their business, scaling their operations to generate efficiency, creating good culture, establishing good, healthy leadership positions within their organization. We're much more than a marketing company. It's just something that we've done for so long, and we've had these conversations that we are just full-blown business consultants.
We're committed.
And committed to the, we could care less about Google and these Fortune 500 companies. We don't intend to be one of those. We just want to help the businesses that are the backbone of the United States economy, and nobody is producing content specifically for them. Everybody's talking about these macro trends that will not matter to the masses.
Right.
And so this is a podcast for small business owners, people that work within small businesses and want to get the competitive advantage by reaching the high ground. And that's what it's all about.
You bet, man. Very well said. Appreciate you.
This has been a great episode.
Yeah, thanks, boss. Appreciate you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Tune in every Tuesday at 5:30 a.m. If you're not up then, you can get it any other time, but I'm sure you guys are. I know we are. See ya.